Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Splashdown Saturday number 6. I am Gabe. I am joined here by DHVF. Our two teams for the finals here will be Death Race for Love and again Mitski Rotters. We will, instead of doing a 3-game set, we have a best of 3 set.
Best
Game
of five.
of 5 games. Best of 5 games, my bad. Best of 5 games
Yeah.
here. Whoever wins 3 will win, and I am excited. Our first game here will be Sweat Zones on Ship-Shaped Cargo. What do you have to say about that?
Zones on ship shape is very interesting in that if both teams have a good foothold in mid, it can be very back and forth. It's a bigger zone, so you're going to need a lot of paint to keep staying it. You can jump over the zone and go and get some potential flank kills on the back lines, and if you get the right amount of kills there. But I think it's also very lockout heavy in that, like, if one team loses their foothold in mid, it can get snowballing fast. It's very hard to retake. There's not a lot of cover between spawn and mid, so you kind of just have to make a break for it at times and hope that the enemy team just misses, because it can be quite hard to retake if they have like a pencil or Zuka looking at you. So it'll be interesting to see how these two teams deal with that.
Yes, it will be. I do love me some Ship-Shaped Cargo, and I do love that it is on Sweat Zones as well, because we all know how that goes.
Yeah.
But,
I've seen some great games play on zone ship shape, but I've also seen some very quick knockouts on zone ship shape. So I'm hoping we get more of the former, just for the sake of the audience and the people viewing this stream. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yes, hope everyone has had a great night or day or evening, whatever time it is for you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying I hope you guys are enjoying our annoying voices talk about Splatoon gameplay.
Yes, it has been enjoyable so far. We've had 2 pretty good sets, despite being 2-0s. They've been close, so hoping to see another close set here in Winners Bracket Finals.
Yes, I'm hoping to see all 5 games. I'm hoping to see all 5 games. I want to see all of the gameplay. It's all fun and games until you get to that one. It's all fun and games until you get to the final round.
Yep, we still got a good bit to go in this tournament, even though we are at Winners Bracket Finals already. So
Yep.
we'll see what these top 2 seeds in the tournament can show us here in this best of 5 set.
Yes, I have actually never seen Death Race for Love play, so we'll see how this goes. We know Mitski Rotters is a pretty good team from what we saw last set.
Yeah, running a bit of a non-traditional comp too. You saw the vanilla Dewey Squelchers for them. You saw the vanilla Blaster with Autobomb and Bubbler, both of whom had really good games in our previous set. And they also are not a pencil team. They had Zap for both of the games that we saw them play. So it should be interesting to see if they'll keep that against the top seed in the tournament or potentially change things up.
Yes, we will. We will see it. I am just super excited, but we don't got much to talk about anymore, as we've covered everything. We're just waiting for the teams to get ready.
Yep, we should be getting into action very soon here for Ship Shape Zones.
Yes, we will. We will be getting into some beautiful Splatoon gameplay. But yeah, if we go back to what was the first game with Mitski Rotters?
It was a Mahi Zones game where it was pretty
If we go back to that, if we take a look back at that, we saw that the other team pretty much locked them out for the first half, and then Mitski Rotters came back in the middle and the end there to take the win. But we will get into the first game of finals here in Splashdown Saturday number 6. So let us get straight into it with both teams pushing into the middle, hoping to get zones first and hold it as long as they can.
Yeah, here you can see a very similar comp from Mitski Rotters from the previous set. You got the Squelchers, the Blaster. Actually, no, that's a range Blaster, not a vanilla Blaster. So they will have a Waybreaker instead of a Bubble. But you also see the Zap in the bucket. On the side of Death Race for Love, you have a Pencil, a Vanilla Splash, a tent with the Zuka and what appears to be a custom blaster. As you can see, Mitski Riders gets early control and are able to push up past mid, force a 2-down situation. But they themselves go 2 down. And here you can just see a lot of people going down on both teams. But in the end, it looks like Mitski Riders is still holding firm control of Death Race for Love's court. They have a Waybreaker up. They have all 4 members of Death Race for Love kind of congestion spawn as the tank actually ends up going down there. They got a cooler setup now. They have strikes at the ready. The range is going to make a foray into the enemy spawn, but quickly taken out by that Splashdown, and the Squelchers go down there as well. And now you can see the patience of Death Race for Love just hanging back in their spawn for that long. Now it's starting to pay off as now they have a good foothold in mid, can potentially contest here. More people continue to go down on both sides. And they finally get the timer to stop, but they might not be able to quite cap it here and set a penalty. But not unless the Zuka finds 2 people there. Great Zuka on the side of Death Race for Love, and they can get control with and start their push back into the other direction of the map.
Yes, they did. Death Race for Love. This is what we saw in the quarterfinals. This is what we saw in quarterfinals with the first 2 teams that we saw. It was a hold for the middle of the zone, and then the other team just came back here as Death Race for Love is counting down the timer really slowly with them holding the zone really well. I love to always see the tent umbrella and the pencil combo. That is a really, really deadly combo. It is just a way. It's just a hard thing to deal with, especially with that shield.
Though. You see the bucket go down. Death Race for Love has already taken the lead without much contest at all. You see one person on the far left, but they're not really going to be able to do much in time. As they go down, the bucket is there, and just a very clean hold for Death Race for Love to come back from that. From Mitski Riders going really deep into their spawn. They stayed patient. They got control. They got some 2 good Zuka picks. They just kind of held the zone there from out. And then Mitski Riders never able to mount a good push. They just kept taking them down, kept staggering them, kept getting 2v1s on them. Death Race for Love did everything right there in the face of early adversity.
Yeah. You know what I called that match just now? I called that a beautiful a knockout from the side of Death Race for Love there. They came back really well, it wasn't even a minute left in the match there. That was a very surprising comeback from Death Race for Love, as we have not seen them play yet.
Yeah, so and as I was kind of talking about before the match started, you kind of saw the 2 types of ship-shape zones matches that you get. You saw these fierce contested matches in front of zone at the very beginning, but once Death Race for Love got a hold of zone, it became very lockout heavy. I believe Mitski Riders is running a double wave comp with the range blaster and the Splashers, and when you have double wave, you're not going to have that many retakes. I believe the only one they have is the tri-stripe from the Slosher. And if you're reliant on just one of the specials on a map like Ship Shape Zones where you need to retake, where lockout is such an issue for teams, it puts you at a major disadvantage. And you kind of saw that where they struggled to really get back to mid, take fights in mid. All the fights they took for the rest of the game where they kind of had themselves at a disadvantage. Death Race for Love was able to fight them on their own terms. And it totally worked out for them there.
Yes, it did here. But on that note, our next game here will be Crab Leg Capital Clam Blitz. I love Crab Leg Capital. Capital is crazy. Capital. I love this map. It's great. I only have one downside with it: the grades. It's just the worst thing.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, if you can effectively use the grades, that's your key to winning. If you can get someone on that high ground over all of it and potentially poke in the basket, depending on how long range the weapon is. If they get a pencil there, even a splatling, for example, it can be devastating just to have someone there, forcing people to stay on their plat near basket, and just completely changes the flow of the game. And the other thing about Crab Leg is that it can be very stall heavy at times, very defensive map. So we'll see how these teams can respond to that, if they can break through the defense that teams tend to hold on their plat from long periods of the game. As you can see here, Death Race for Love, they have a vanilla tent, not the Zuka tent, the one with Inkback and Squid Beacons, but they remain the same after that. Custom Blaster, Vanilla Splash, and Pencil. On the side of Mitski Riders, they have vanilla range, but they've swapped out the Gooey Squelchers for a Zuka, so they now have 2 retakes versus the Zuka and the Strikes. As you can see, you got some quick fighting here. You see two people go down the side, Death Race for Love, but the Crab is out to defend the basket area, looking to find a kill in the bucket on the far right. Looks like someone might be behind them. They are taken out. Bucket looks like they're going back, and the Splash is eventually taken out by the Range, who is holding firm control of the middle of the map. What do you see here in these first minute or so, Gabe?
I haven't seen much at all, to be honest. I've seen both teams are staggering here as slowly, but it looks like Mitski Rotters are going to try and take the first points of the game, which they do, trying to look for more clams in the basket, but they do not get it here. It looks like they are going to hold it at 80, but they do get 3 extra clams in that basket, with 2 going down on Mitski Rotters, with them trying to come back with Death Race for Love, preventing any more clams or clam balls going into the basket here. Death Race for Love is probably going to try and set up a push very soon here. With the cooler does come out here with 1 going down on Death Race for Love, with tri-strikes coming out from Mitski Rotters. So they are going. It looks like both teams are just trying to take control of the middle here.
Yeah, and you saw that first push by Mitski Riders only got to 71, but on this map, it's so defensive. 71 has won many games of Crab Luck Hands before, so it'll be interesting to see if they can build on that lead or if they just choose to play more defensively. We know that Death Race for Love, they have a tent. They want to kind of embody a defensive playstyle that's so favored on Crab Like Clams, but we're not quite sure how that works out. As you do see Death Race for Love score on their own, but it doesn't look like they're being able to follow up as there's no one really near that ramp. And looks like the one person that is going to fall back in the blaster.
Yes, it looks like Death Race for Love doesn't get any more clams, as Mitski Rotters does hold their lead here. You know what I've seen Mitski Rotters been doing throughout all of their matches? I've been seeing that they've been getting small leads, holding out to make sure the other team doesn't push, and then they just absolutely rush in, getting as many points as they can.
Yeah, as you see, they burn the strikes to maybe get some more boots on the ground in mid, but the VAC comes out, and that's going to put Riki here in a very tough position. They go on the great to see if they can kind of circumvent that VAC and their shot that follows up, but they're being pushed back by the Splash on the right elbow there, and they're eventually taken out by a good team fight from between the tent and the Splash. Unfortunately, the tent does go down there to kind of stall out Death Wish for Love's momentum, but here we kind of have a state where, like, Mitski Riders needs to get into mid, get that pencil out and back onto their plat, and kind of spread out the map and not clump up as much. And that might be a good first start, as the Bucket is able to get a kill and jump back out. Although the pencil is able to jump in and score and take the lead. That was a really fast-paced, quick jump in. The 10 is able to score a couple more. I don't think. Oh, yeah, they do. They get 1 jump in. Another power clam is coming. They get a second power clam. Wow. That push did not look like it was going to get to 24, but some really great clam management by Death Race for Love to get those jump ins and get those clams, keep those basket open, even though they didn't really have a lot of people on their plat all at once. It was a really good coordinated clam push that good teams really tend to capitalize on.
Yes, both teams did capitalize on that. Here, if we look here at Mitski Rotters, they do have 2 power clams. This is their time to make their push here. It looks like they are trying to set up a push. If they can just get rid of that pencil, they will be golden. If they could get their push in and use their specials correctly, they could possibly even take the win here with a knockout, because the only way they can do it is get a lead by either 5 to 6 points or just entirely knock them out. This is a tight game here with only 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Death Race for Love is just holding out Mitski Rotters, and it doesn't look like the
Hold
Mitski
on.
Rotters.
Mitski
Hold on, wait a minute. Mitski Rotters is making a push in here. They are going to get the power clam. They're going to get 2 power clams.
Close, but they
It
need
looks
more.
like
They don't have any clams now. They're going to need to get some more from mid. Maybe potentially pick up that pity if one of them dies.
it's in overtime. There's only around 5 seconds left. They need to jump in and get it in. And they don't do it! Mitski Rotters only loses by a couple of points. Death Race for Love takes game 2 of the finals. If Death Race for Love wins the 3rd one here, It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a win for
Yeah,
them.
that was a very valiant comeback attempt by Mitski Rotters. They got both balls in. They got a delayed wipeout. They just could not have the clam economy to sustain that push. They tried the jump and pity at the end there, but Death Race for Love did a good job clamping down, stopping the bleeding, and getting the eventual W there.
Yes, our third game here will be Tower Control Hagglefish Market. I love Tower Control. Best mode. Hot take, I understand, but it's the best mode.
That is
I'm sorry.
what you play per chance? Because do you happen to play like blasters or AOE weapons, or you just love
I
Tower Control just
play
for the
I
sake of
play
it?
Splattershot Nova.
Wow. Okay, so you just like Tower Control for the sake of it. All right, I respect it. That's a bold take. It's not Nova's best mode, but I mean, you just like Tower Control. I mean, I can get behind that. But for Tower Control Hagglefish in particular, that first checkpoint is pretty far out, and it kind of hinders both the attacking and defending team in different ways. The attacking team just gets a very long checkpoint, and if they have a backline on a left side snipe, then they could potentially put a lot of pressure on the tower as it's on that first checkpoint. But it also hinders the defending team that if there's no one on that snipe, it's you have to go a long way from plat all the way to that first checkpoint just to contest it. And that first checkpoint is a really good tone setter for how the rest of the game is going to go. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams deal with that first checkpoint if they get people on defense on the left side snipe.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a lot of I almost just said stagglefish. It's gonna be a lot of staggering and a lot of flanks, especially with I'm expecting probably a lot of comp change from. I'm probably expecting at least one or two weapons comp change for both teams, because towerfish, tower control is definitely a a mode not to be reckoned with, because it can be unexpected at times.
It'll be interesting to see if Death Race for Love brings back the tent or even the vanilla tent being back. I mean, it seemed to work out pretty well last match. It forced the basket to be open. They got a couple clams in, and the VAC was able to stall out some pushes from Mitski Rotter. So I think it'll be interesting to go for that when the other kit with Zuka is also quite good here. But we'll see how it goes. I think that based on what I've seen from Death Wish for Love these past few games, I think they can make the VAC tent work. As we load in, they do have a tent
They
that
do.
looks like it's the Sorella tent, not the vanilla tent. Yes, it is the Sorella tent.
It's the Sorella umbrella.
Yeah, and so Death Wish for Love is going to be running back the same comp as Game 1 with the Sorella tent, Custom Blaster, Vanilla Splash, and Pencil. On the side of Mitski Ryder, still no dually squelchers for them. It's V-Shot again, and as well as the range. And you see the bucket and zap there as well. That's been standard for them. You see both teams get early coolers set up by their pencil and zap respectively, but the range and the shot both go down the side of Mitsuya. So it's two really, really good kills on the side of Death Wish for Love to get that tower moving.
Yeah, I have a quick hot take to mention here. If I was a Brella player and I play tower control, I'm sorry, but I'd probably play undercover.
Wow, I mean, I don't know. I think Tent is probably the player, especially if
Yeah,
they're
Tenth
just
Umbrella is good, especially with the bigger shield, but the the um the undercover umbrella has a shield that doesn't detach, and it can give you a slight more survival time, maybe to get a couple more points on the board for your team, if you're really close to getting a lead or something.
Yeah, I don't know if the world's ready to hear that one, but I respect you for putting it out there. As you can see,
I
I
don't
see
think the world liked me saying
Caden from
that.
Mitski Riders is getting set up on their tent. That's a very dangerous position for Caden to be in, especially with a Zuka. They pop that Zuka, and looks like they go down before they can get the full value of it. But Mitski Riders is able to get past that long first check because of that play by Caden. So now they're able to run it to the second check. It's a 3v3 situation. They got the bucket online, going in front of tower, trying to get a kill here. Gets that kill on the one of the shooters. It looks like the splash there. And it's just standing there. It does not look like anyone's going to get on tower. You see the range does get on. Will they be able to get it? And range goes down on the checkpoint. So there's going to be A good defensive stand by Death Race for Love there, as they're able to force them out of checkpoint despite the strikes going up besides the range, getting on tower, poking from there. Uh, but hold on, that's a full wipeout for Mitski Riders as they, out of nowhere, come back to get the tower, and all of a sudden they're going to be contesting that second checkpoint right again.
Yes, yes, it will be. As Mitski Riders here does have a pretty. If we look at the scoreboard here, Mitski Riders does have a decent lead here as three go down on the side of Death Race for Love as Mitski Riders is trying to push past the checkpoint, which they do, counting up the board even more. Two go down on the side of Death Race for Love. It is a fight for the game here. If Mitski Riders doesn't win, they lose the finals as three go down on the side of Death Race for Love. But two go down on the side of Mitski Riders. They are going to just get on the tower and ride it to the end here, going game 3 for Mitski Riders.
Mitski Riders there doing a really good job of holding up the sweep, leaving no doubt in their mind that they are in this set. They want to potentially get a reverse sweep if they can win these next two games. And there, they did a really good job of staggering out Death Race for Love. They went three down a couple times during their pushes, especially towards the end, right when the tower was heading back. But they forced a three down on Death Race for Love out of nowhere, able to kind of take that momentum there and get past that really difficult to get past second checkpoint on Haggle Tower, and then eventually get past the third checkpoint and just knock out altogether. Thanks. They got up in their snipe. They got up in front of tower. They did a great job of, even though there were at times where people weren't on tower, they were able to get jumps back in and slowly but surely get tower to the knockout position. It was a great, great game by Mitski Riders there.
Yes, our fourth game here will be Rainmaker Humpback. I also like this map. It's actually a pretty good map for Rainmaker, but there's only really one main checkpoint. Wait, is there only one checkpoint or is there two in this map?
There are two, but it's very rare to see.
There's pretty much only one because there's only one that's mostly used.
Yeah, I think immediately when I look at this map, I think back to Mitski Router's Bucket Player. This is one of the better bucket maps in the game. And I think that especially on Rainmaker, where Bucket has a bomb and has strikes to continue to pop the shield and make space for the person carrying the Rainmaker, it's a very dangerous map to play a good Bucket Player on. So we'll see if Mitski Routers can take full advantage of that. We'll see if Death Race for Love can potentially play around that. I think that for their Blaster player, it's also quite the good map. So we'll see if they can take advantage of that as well.
Yes, it's definitely a great map for Buckets and Blasters because of all the high and low corners and walls that you can go off of. It's definitely going to be a very interesting game that we will see here. But yeah, if Death Race for Love wins this one, they will win the finals. But if Mitski Riders can absolutely just knock out or just win in general 3 games, these last two games, they will win the tournament.
Yeah. Although they won't win the tournament, they will advance to grand finals where they'll play the winner of the losers bracket. But
this is win finals.
Yes. But I will say that Mitski Riders right now, they have the momentum. They just delivered a great performance in that Tower Haggle game. And I think that if they can use that momentum to carry it over to the next game and the game after that, they could potentially win this set and not have to worry about losing bracket at all and just move on to grand finals without that much sweat. So we'll see if they can hold that as the opening comps roll out. You see what looks to be a vanilla tent for Death Race for Love. It is a vanilla tent, so they go back to the back and they have a custom range blaster as well, Kraken, and a shot instead of a splash, and a zap instead of a pencil. So Death Race for Love changing up quite a bit. They ditched the pencil and the splash that they've had the first 2 games. On the side of Mitski Riders, it's similar to what we've seen, except it is now a vanilla blaster instead of a range. As you can see here, blaster goes down, coolers are out. The shot gets a good kill before going down, and looks like mid is still firmly in contest right now. Like, there hasn't been one team that's fully asserted themselves, but people are going down. The coolers have been up, so it hasn't led to that much impact on the map yet, but we'll see who makes the first move for Rainmaker as the blaster gets forced in the trench and is taken out. Mitski Router is able to start their push. We'll see if they tend to really want to go faster. It looks like they will. They're going straight for that checkpoint. And this could be a dangerous position for Death Race for Love. They have the Zuka up. The shot is in front of the Rain. Even when the Zuka does end, they're looking to see if they can get a kill with that last shot. They do not. But Mitski Raj is going to go very fast here, carrying with that momentum from the first checkpoint they got. They're going to go
They're going
somehow
all out
survive
here.
that 10th kill and bomb and finally die and get to 25. A great first push in the first minute for Mitski Riders.
Well, they are going all out for this game. They are absolutely, they are in the moment right now. If they lose this, they have to go to losers bracket. Wait, don't are they? No, yeah, I think they go to losers bracket. But Death
They
Race
do,
for
yeah.
Love does they let the Rainmaker reset as Mitski Riders does get another pop, but the I just saw that the pick got the blaster, not the blaster, the shooter, the shot did get picked off by the Zuka here with Kraken at the ready. The blaster probably will go to the middle here. Might pop it, but jumps out instead with 2 down. He's going to regroup with his team here.
Yeah. Mitski Raz looks like they want to get their push started sooner rather than later. But if you're Death Race for Love, you can't panic here. You get the kill in the Rain, and this can be a very stalling map at times, especially if the team with the Rainmaker holds it on the right side of the map, kind of where it's hard for the enemy team to kind of get them without a long-range weapon or a special. Oh, so if you're Death Race for Love, you just got to be patient, wait for the right opportunity. If they want to go push again, they can. 25 is already a good lead. They might try and do it again, but if they can, then Death Race for Love needs to be able to take advantage of that. As they do try and go for that push again. And just like that, Death Race for Love forced a wipeout. They did exactly what I said they should do. And forced Mitski Raj to push right into them and start their own push off. And they're instantly going to get that check. Good job by Death Race for Love mobilizing to get the Rainmaker in a good spot for them to set their next push up. As you can see, they have a vac ready. I think we might be able to see a vac push once someone else grabs this Rainmaker, assuming that Tent can stay alive and get the vac all set up. And they do pop it here. Oh, but the shot weasels its way in between the vac to get a good kill in the Rain and waste the vac. It does get a kill there, but it looks like Death Race for Love is going to actually get a 3-down situation. They have survived despite the Rainmaker going down, the vac not being used to its fullest potential. They're going to keep going. The Zuka's out now. The Rain's going forward with the Tent shield, and the Rain escapes to get it all the way down to 11. Great play by the Tent and shield for the Rain and get it to an even more safe lead than what Mitski Riders had previously gotten.
Yes, with a minute 30 left on the clock, Mitski Riders is going to have to go all in, or they will have to go to losers bracket here. But it looks like they are going to get the pop off here, and they are going to try and push in here with Tri-Strikes coming out, pushing Death Race for Love here out. But the Rainmaker does get picked off, only getting an extra 3 points on the board with 3 down on the side of Mitski Riders here. It looks like Death Race for Love is just going to probably just try either install or just push the Rainmaker deeper.
Mitski Riders had a good opportunity there. They had a bubble set up really far back to where the Rain wanted to go. They had a Zuka there as well, but there was a really well-timed ink vac to kind of stop the Rainmaker from getting too far, stop people ahead of the Rainmaker from getting too far, and cancel that push down with only 3 extra points getting added to Mitski Riders' score. But they will have at least one more shot here, as they might try and go fast again, since you see that bubble up kind of where they needed to be. The Rain needs to head back, though, because the Kraken's there. They're back to where the checkpoint is. Just 15 seconds remain. That Kraken won't be able to kill them, and the range will be taken down. But it's a 3v2 in favor of Mitski Riders. 10 seconds remain, but 2 go down. It's just the Rainmaker and the Blaster. The Blaster's still far up. The vac is up as well. The Rainmaker's going to have to play patient and kind of avoid that until the shot comes out, which it does just there. Right now, they're kind of back to the corner. Kill the Zuka. They're surrounded by enemy paint, and that'll do it. Death Race for Love clamps down on defense and takes the game and the set, and they will be advancing to grand finals.
Yes, they will. Mitski Riders will be having to sit down into losers bracket here. Maybe it's sad to see them go, but congratulations to Death Race for Love going to the grand finals. But yeah, it was great. It was a great set. I'm happy that we even got to game 4. I was really hoping to see that Robo-Romance 5 game. But it's alright. You know, beggars can't be choosers here. It is a tournament. But we are at the end of winners finals. We
And
are, I am, so I am excited
uh,
and also very
right
tired.
before we move on, I do want to mention that I talked earlier before the Humpback Rain game about how this would be a good opportunity for Mitski Router's bucket. But what I didn't mention was that this would be a great opportunity for the Death Race for the 10th player on Death Race for Love, because they had their impact on that game. They were the one who kind of allowed the Rainmaker to push through with the 10 shield, getting them all the way to 11 on the scoreboard. And they also had some very clutch impacts that stalled out Mitski Router's attempts to come back towards the end when they were trying to push and retake the lead in overtime. Like, their VAC didn't end up like getting the kill on the Rain directly, but it made the Rain just kind of sit in the corner next to that left checkpoint for a while, and that they kind of just they had to stood there for like more time than they really had, honestly, as the rest of Death Race for Love was able to kind of corner them and eventually kill them, thanks to them not being able to move forward because of the back. So really, really good job by the tent on a really good tent map to get Death Race for Love the victory there and their spot in grand finals.
But yes, congratulations to Death Race for Love on advancing to grand finals. We are going to go into a short break, I'd say. We'll see you very soon. Don't go anywhere. You'll be seeing more gameplay very soon. Go get a snack, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and we will see you very soon.
What's to come? 6 to 4.